And we are live here on Sandy Gholston BookTube TV. Excited to do some productivity sprinting here. We have 2/3 of the Voltron book force in the house right now. We are waiting for, I'm not sure which lion we are, because we're supposed to be lions. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to say black lion because that might be a little too predictable. So I don't know, but we're missing one of our lions. So hopefully Steff Coffee Over Apples will be able to join us, and we can officially get the party started. But y'all know me, Sandy Gholston BookTube TV. I have been in the BookTube game now officially, I think, 2 years. So I think it was summer of 2019 that I really kind of shifted the channel and went to BookTube and AuthorTube. And so I have been having a blast with that. So with that, I will turn it over to Margaret. Let me see if I can point to her right here officially. Go ahead, Margaret. Let them know who you are.
You're right. That is me. Hi, I'm Margaret Pinard. I've got a BookTube/AuthorTube channel on this lovely platform. And I write historical fiction. I've been on for 1 year as of last week, so I'm the baby of the group for sure. And yeah, love reading. I've got huge reading from this month to dive into for my wrap up, which is very exciting. I'll make you guess the number. But what I'm working on today is the author side. I've got my computer ready to go on the rewrite that I'm doing for my 6th book. So woohoo!
Ooh, look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Now, are you thinking with book 6, are you thinking self-publishing? You thinking traditional publishing first, then self-publishing, or?
So this is the pocket of time where like the space-time continuum has like wrung us out like a sponge. So I figure this is the time to apply. So you were ahead of me on that as well. You're querying, and I have like bumped up my research into traditional publishing again so that I can query once the book is ready. It's not ready, I know that, but it's getting there. And so I was hoping to do this in June, but I have had to push it back, and I'm still hoping to start a querying process for an agent once I get it in good shape.
Well, good.
Big news, big exciting, scary news, first time.
You know, though, it's an interesting time in publishing. There are people who are saying that it's just tougher maybe than it's ever been, and yet at the same time we have self-publishing that's really blowing up, and a lot more people are doing that. Amazon, of course, Jeff Bezos, when he's not flying in space, has helped to make that easier, and so it's really been an interesting time.
Yes.
There you go.
Not Bezos fans. Libro.fm. Great place to go from.
Yeah, it's yeah. You know, I will tell you this because hopefully I didn't freeze there a little bit. All right. I'll tell you this. It really is so fun to go to a bookstore. And I had forgotten how much sometimes you forget because you get in the rut of ordering things online, and you forget how great it is to lose yourself in a bookstore. And I miss doing that as much. I live in a smaller town, and we don't have the bookstore inventory that they have, probably at least 50 miles away. So I do miss that. So do you get a chance to go to bookstores, and do you still enjoy going to bookstores and libraries?
Well, just a small piece of advice I would mention: don't look askance at your thrift stores, because thrift stores have great paperback choices that, I mean, you just need to go to your garage. I don't know that you need to go to pick up more books, Sandy.
No, I really don't. I mean, I am probably, it's every time I get ready to institute a book buying ban, there's like some book that just pops up and I'm like, ooh.
I know.
And I just want to, but then, like you said, so this room over here that you guys cannot see, where I shoot my videos, is So that room is I actually tumbled over one of my stacks the other day. I was gonna put it as a blooper video, and I decided, maybe not. Maybe someday I'll come back. It was actually really funny. I caught myself reaching for a book in between books that I was talking about. Reached up, and the stack was just like.
And you got it on film? You got it on film?
I did get it on film. It was actually funny. Yeah. I should have used it. I made a clip so I could use it in the video that I was filming at the time, and then I punted on doing it. So I might bring it back. Maybe I'll have like a blooper clip or something at some point at the end of the year.
I think you definitely should. Yeah.
It was funny. Like I saw it. So one stack tumbled down like an avalanche, and then the stack next to it almost went down. So word of advice for those of you who stack books like I do, make sure that your little bitty paperbacks are at the top. Do not put the little bitty paperbacks in the middle because it destabilizes everything.
Oh, right. Well, if you've played Jenga, you know this. I just put it in the wrong place. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, I guess I just gave it to you. I was gonna put in my thing, and then I realized I'm on the wrong page. So
let me throw a couple of comments we got going on here. Nazy41, welcome to the show here tonight. Nazy says, my work schedule will soon be less chaotic, and I will hopefully have more time and energy to devote to writing. So, well, good. I would hope so. You'd have a chance to get some writing in, and it's just exercise for the imagination is what I always call it. So,
yes.
Hopefully Nazy can get some writing in. She says, I can't remember the last time I was in a bookstore. I mostly shop online, although I've grabbed some good finds at Ollie's and Dollar Tree. Did not know that. Huh. Yeah. Didn't know Dollar Tree had. I have to go and check that out. You mentioned thrift stores.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes get down to thrift stores. So not only thrift stores, Goodwill, different types of resale consignment shops. Sometimes they have that kind of stuff. And so you go in there, and I found some outstanding books. Unlike me, not everybody hoards their books and keeps them for time and all eternity. So I've learned that some people are comfortable letting go of books.
Yes. Not this Chicky. I don't know if you saw the recent, I put it in the video, but it hasn't shown up yet, so I'm not sure why. But you were asking about other bookstores to go into, and of course, I went down to California for the summer and splashed out at several that I wanted to support, and I incorporated them into my number 100 video. So I just put that in the comments and said, here's where I have, if you're anywhere near the central coast of California, there's some great indie bookstores, used especially, and, I want to keep them open and operating and doing good in the community. So I shouted them out, and they were great. There were two near me that had been there since I was born, and I didn't know about them. So I was very excited to learn about Coalesce in Morro Bay and the Book Odyssey in Atascadero. They were fabulous.
Okay, you put it in a private chat. You want me to put it in the regular chat?
I also did it on the YouTube page, but it shows on the YouTube page, but not on our StreamYard page. So I don't know, mystery.
Well, let me make sure, just in case. We'll throw it on there again, just in case, so people can find those indie bookstores, because it's a jungle out there for indie bookstores with so many just things in general. Like, when I was younger, everybody loved going to the mall, and now you don't go to the mall anymore. And malls, I don't know where you are, but malls where I'm from, Detroit, they're just closing. They're dropping like flies.
Yeah, I was an early non-adopter of the mall. I lived right next to downtown, so I would walk 10 minutes and be downtown. And that was where our favorite frozen yogurt shop was, and we could sit by the creek, and that was my small town experience. So you had to drive to the mall, and that was obviously out of reach for someone under 15. So
well, yeah, that's true. That does make for some challenging times for sure. Yeah. Growing up in a big city, Detroit is very different in that, at least when I was younger, you didn't have as many shops in the neighborhood. Well, when I was really young, you did. And then you had, to be blunt, honest about, you had white flight, and a lot of people left, and the shops and the stores left, and everything went to the suburbs. And so you had to go to the suburbs to go to, the cool stores. And so, and then as I got older, some of the neighborhoods started to come back a little bit, and some of those mom and pop stores started to come back. And so that made it a little bit where you didn't necessarily have to leave the neighborhood as much anymore to go to those types of stores. And so,
there's a guy I follow, Chef Dave, I can't remember his name, on TikTok, and he's in Detroit, and he did this one field trip where he went to a market that was famous for like open air, kind of like a big barn atmosphere, but it had all these little foods, like farmers market stalls and stuff.
Yeah, it's Eastern Market. Yeah, it's Eastern Market. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because was 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I went down there. I hadn't been to Eastern Market since I was a kid. And I could not believe how huge that place is. It is just, they actually have a book vendor event that took place in late July. And a couple of people I know that went to it, and what's that?
A book fair?
Yeah. It's like we're authors, and you bring your books, you buy a table or you rent a table, and you set up basically your bookstore at a table, and they have all these people that come in because they want to see books that are self-published, small published books, publishers with set up tables. And so I wanted to go, but I couldn't get down there that particular weekend. But it's a really cool event, and I'm hoping they'll do it again. I think they do it annually. So it's a great opportunity for independent booksellers to have a chance to show their books to a broader audience. And so it was really cool. But yeah, Eastern Market is very famous, and people go there mostly for fresh foods. You get tons of fresh foods from the farmers. They come in there, and it's like a supersized farmers market.
You know who else has an Eastern Market?
Who's that?
DC.
Is that right?
Pretty famous. And everyone has a Union Station,
yeah.
I gather. But yeah, Eastern Market was a destination in DC when I was there. I had a friend who lived there, and they were famous for one of their little like vendor stations was famous for Blue Bucks, which are blueberry sweet pancakes. And there was like tourists galore. It was always like 100 people in line. It was crazy. So,
wow. Yeah. Well, I think also too, I think, coming off of COVID, a lot of people are just, who knows, we might be going back into it, but a lot of people are just excited to get out and do stuff. And so I think, some of these things, these outdoor events, especially that are safer, I think are drawing a lot of people to them. And so, it's interesting times here with variants and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. It's just a whole bunch of craziness going on out there. So, but yeah, so thanks to everybody that's tuning in, everybody that's going to come through. Tap the like button if you would, as we begin to talk about the projects that we are going to be working on today. Margaret, what are you going to be working on?
Well, I'm working on this tea right now.
There you go. You're going to spill the tea for us?
Yeah. So, I don't know if people here have seen this before. So these are my two props I have today. I've got my family line, which is the graph paper I used to do like the family tree and some note taking on the plot, the very like rough outline. And then I've got this monster, which I've been staring at and altering a little bit by a little bit, which is like my, what do you call it? Outline, sort of like over the 2 years that I'm thinking through the action, and names at the bottom because I always forget my minor character names. And I'm sorry to say, my protagonist's name is Ida.
Ida.
But
yeah, with the hurricane moving in, Hurricane Ida's moving in.
So bad luck today, but hopefully it'll not do too much damage, and people will be safe, and it won't linger in their memories like Katrina. So, but yeah, so that's the thing I'm working on today. I'm trying to do like an hour's worth of rewriting every day to get it shipshape for query, and I'm about a quarter of the way through, just doing this again.
Yeah, I think that's part of the tedious part of it. That's just the behind the scenes, like the meme where you see the tip of the iceberg, and then you see all the work, everything that's going on underneath the water that a lot of people don't see and don't know about. That goes into editing and proofing and going through your story so many times that you can recite it backwards. It's like
I never get to the point where I can recite it backwards, but it's the 2 times I've gone through it before. I have a sense of there's a few things I like, but mainly I'm trying to find the story. And this time is when I'm thinking like, oh, I'm getting bits of like the whole picture that are pulling together. And so it's not like this every time, but there are little sparks of like, oh, this is how it's fitting together. And so it's like the magic is almost there. I'm like, it's on the other side of the door, and I'm pushing on the stone or the door or whatever it is. Because if I just keep going, I'll finally get there. I have faith. So that's where we're at.
All right.
I know you're working on several things. So I know you're querying at the same time as you're working on another story. And you said you were maybe 7,000 words away from finishing what you expected. How's it going?
So I am right now, in addition to, as you mentioned, in addition to querying a novel that I worked on for a couple of years, I am working on book 1 in a 5-book series. It's kind of a dystopian series. It's a something like the Hunger Games, but not quite that science fiction-y. But it's definitely a story that I'm excited about, and I wanted to push myself to I'm first of all, I'm proud of you for picking that book up, because I did read that book. So I did read that book at the end of 2020. So
okay.
So I am so where am I at right now? I'm 81,000 words into it in the first draft, and I estimate it's going to take me about another 5 to 10,000 words, depending on how tricky I get toward the end. I could go for Riley Sager and throw the double craziness at the end that he likes to throw in his books. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But Riley Sager always throws you a curveball at the end of his books, and then he throws you a double curveball, something that's just kind of like almost off the wall. That it's like just kind of craziness, sheer craziness. So I am I'm about halfway through Act 3 of the book. I do my books in 3-act format, and then I outline by chapter. So that helps keep me on track pretty well. So I'm deep into Act 3. I did make some adjustments to Act 3. So I did lengthen Act 3 a little bit. It was supposed to be shorter. So I did lengthen that a little bit. So I probably gave myself an extra 2,000 words to wrap it up and to set the stage for the second book in the series, which I am planning to write during NaNoWriMo in November. So National Novel Writing Month, here I come. Nice. And I've already got the book project that I am going to do for NaNoWriMo. So nice. Do you participate in NaNoWriMo?
I have every year since 2013, or I think 13. Yeah.
Wow. Look at you. You are a pro. I'm just a mere rookie to Margaret's pro, like, Hall of Fame status. I am just a mere rookie.
Yeah, well, the roles were reversed in our Sunday discussion of authors and social media. So you left all of the dust. It was very impressive.
I will tell you, that was please go and check out Margaret's channel. She does just some really cool stuff, and I had the privilege, and I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, but had the privilege of being on a great panel discussion with some other authors, and we had a chance to really kick around some really cool topics and had a just a terrific discussion.
Yeah, actually, so I'm trying to do these AuthorTube panels once a month, or every other month, and this month's last Sunday was with Sandy and Sarah DeVello and Marilyn Maya Mendoza. So it was all people on YouTube, although Sarah's mostly on Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. But I realized after the fact that you guys are all bigger mystery buffs than I am, and I should have angled it a little bit that way. But I figured you all had different takes on social media and how to craft a persona, and so would give good advice about that. So we had an interesting discussion about it, and definitely had some differing viewpoints. So if you want to check that out, Sunday, August 22nd. The next one's happening Sunday, September 12th, and that is about book events. So if you're someone who is published, indie publishing, interested in holding events for your books, we're going to talk about our dream book events, and in the process probably explain what might have gone wrong in the past that informs our future, ideals and everything. So, yeah.
One cool part of that discussion that we had was we talked a little bit about, some different aspects of marketing, in particular like social media marketing and things. So there were some great resources there in that discussion for people that, are going the either the self-publishing route, the indie publishing, where maybe you have to carry a little bit more of the load in terms of marketing your book. Yeah, a little bit. I was being kind saying it that way. But yeah, I mean, there was some great resources there. So Shay with the Hobbies is in, another great channel there, great booktuber, great author tuber as well. So welcome, Shay. Appreciate you. Always good having you here with us in the discussion. And, we might have to talk to Shay. We got a couple of lions out there that Shay might want to grab one of our Voltron lions here. We're going to have to talk to her about that and see if she wants to be a Voltron lion. So great to have Shay in here. So great to have Nazy in here as well, and hopefully others will be able to come through as they get a chance. But I think we're pretty close to first sprint time here. So those of you who have a project that you are going to be working on, we want to go 20 minutes. That sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get ready to go 20 minutes. Let's see. Shay says, sorry, I'm late. How are y'all doing? She says, yeah, hit me up for real. So Shay is interested. We might have to make Shay a lion. We have to give her one of the lions. So give her one of those Voltron keys so we can get going. No, you're not too late. I appreciate you coming through. We're just kind of introducing what we're going to be working on today, and just talking about some topics. Kicked around a couple of things, including, supporting indie bookstores, supporting indie authors. Whether they are going through a bookstore or whether they are self-publishing. It's just great to support these authors, and leave reviews for your authors too. That's a great thing that you guys can do for your author friends, your author brothers and sisters. Leave some reviews.
Best thing. Yep. And after we have done some work, I'm gonna tantalize everybody by talking about a book picnic. I had a picnic today that I'll say more about later.
All right. Well, that is something to look for in our first intermission. So, all right. So let's get the clock back up here. We're going to go for 20 minutes here as we kick off productivity sprint number 1. So everybody get to their marks, get set, go. Okay. And that brings to a conclusion productivity sprint number 1. As let me reset that clock there. And so I can't speak for my Voltron Book Forest buddy, Margaret, but actually I probably can a little bit because I'm sure she was knee deep in research. I was actually in a lot of research. So my writing word count is actually pretty low. It ended up being, okay, I just got rid of it. It was like 283 words. So I ended up doing a lot of research, and I forgot that I was right at the end of a chapter. So there was some research I needed to do to kick off the next chapter. So I probably only have 2 chapters left. So I'm in pretty good shape coming down the stretch run here. Crossed off a bunch of lines in Act 3 of my outline. So
Woo.
we moving.
Yeah, nice job.
Yeah. So how'd it go for you?
Yeah, when you said about 2,000 words, I thought, man, he's going to do it today. He's going to do it today on live action camera for you guys.
Close, but not quite.
Let's see. How far did I get? I got through... about 2,000 words of editing. I was just making decisions like, you change small choices about when things happen, and then you need to like cascading choices throughout that scene and other things. So I have these comments here. I'll show you how many comments I have on the right there.
Whoa!
Yellow things. Those are all like the unresolved things. So I'm going through and changing some of the language, also some like the plotting choices, and then getting rid of them. But yeah, it's slow going. That's why I can only do it in little bits and pieces. But yeah.
You know, one of the amazing things is that even when you go back and you make like one change, it's not as simple as just making that one change, because there's like so many other parts that it may be connected to that you might have to go. You make a change that may seem like a small change to a reader in chapter 35, but then you got to go back and change like 10 things earlier in the book, going all the way maybe back to chapter 1.
Yeah. So what I think in this scene, what I'm doing is I changed the timeline so that there's more development of the main conflict, and that means that this event in this chapter is happening earlier than I thought it would, which means that it can't be the speaker in the building on that day that I wanted it to be. So I had all these details about Frederick Douglass speaking in the women's building, which doesn't happen for another month. So now I'm like, okay, I don't know who's speaking. I'll worry about that later. But now I have to take all these details about what he's talking. So yeah.
Oh, I hear you. So, bummer that Steph's not going to be able to join us tonight.
Oh, did she say?
Yeah, she did say she's. Well, I don't know. I think she kind of slightly left the door open, but yeah, it looks like our girl Steff is tied up a little bit. So she was the surefire Voltron Force member that we knew was going to be reading. So. Well, chances are she was going to be reading. She also does like arts and crafts stuff too. So Steff does like really cool stuff. So who knows what she would have pulled out of her hat.
Yeah. She's got like students she's teaching as well as doing her own studio stuff. So
Steff is like
smoking.
She's like Superwoman, doing all kinds of stuff. And I mean, she's my hero going back to school this summer. Is like I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I could go back to school and immerse myself in it like that. That's just, wow. I can't even imagine that. That's some next level stuff right there. So shout out to our girl Steff here. So one of the things that we did talk about that we were going to discuss is what is a recent video project for your channel that you were particularly proud of? And are you ready?
Yeah, I thought of one sort of.
All right, let her rip.
So I don't know anyone else that's done this. So I think this is like something original, which is that like live book tags. And it's great because you know who doesn't want to edit stuff anymore? This girl. And you know who like wants to engage with people on YouTube? This girl. So I'm behind in tags. I've got like bunches of tags to do, and some of them have very good questions, but I feel like it's better to do them directly while people are listening. And then I get 2 birds with 1 stone, or 2 birds with 1 feeder. How about that?
That is definitely less violent to put it that way. So yeah, we don't want any animal rights activists coming after us. But no, I'm feeling you with that. Yeah, it's that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm with you on that.
So maybe I'll start a trend. Who knows?
You know what? You know, trends have to start somewhere.
Right?
And the interesting thing about a trend is you never know where it's going to start. You just know that it became a trend somehow. So that's the cool thing. So very, very nice. So for me, I did a video, and unfortunately, my AuthorTube videos don't do quite as well as the BookTube videos, which is unfortunate. But I was thinking about the topic of male authors writing female characters.
Oh yeah.
And female authors writing male characters. Mm-hmm. And a couple authors immediately came to mind for me. So for male authors writing female characters, I don't think this is going to be a big surprise to anybody, but Riley Sager is one that came to mind because his main characters have all been female characters. And then I started thinking about what is a female author who wrote a male character that was very compelling. And I thought about Angie Thomas because she did Concrete Rose, which is the prequel to The Hate U Give. And I really liked it to the point that I was reading Concrete Rose, which I pre-ordered and then immediately read it when I got it. She wrote the character so well, the male character so well, that I didn't even think about the fact that she was a woman. It was a good story. First of all, it's a great. The Hate U Give is a phenomenal story, and the backstory to it was phenomenal too. So she did a great job with that. And then and Riley Sager. Some people don't like the way he draws female characters. Some people do. So that's a little bit more of a controversial subject with him. What are your thoughts on writing a character, a main character of the opposite gender to your own?
From my point of view, I have written from the point of view of male characters in my books, and it's a challenge to flesh them out to make them multidimensional because they're not as obviously like an aspect of my own personality. But I don't think it's something. I don't think it's something I do research for because I think it's everywhere. It's everywhere represented to me. It's more something that I have to think through and like use compassion for. I feel like what's going on under the surface. That's my take.
Yeah.
I left a comment on that video. Have you seen the memes or the tweets that are about like men writing women badly and how awful it can be and how hilarious at the same time?
I've read some of them, and it's interesting because I was looking at not only some of those, but also some websites because they were showing some of the stereotypical ways that male authors poorly draw and describe female characters, and they're.
Let me give you the spoiler, guys. It's mostly sexualization.
It is. It usually everything is things were largely sexualized, largely pun intended, sexualized, and it was interesting to see some of those because I was reading it and it's interesting because I really there was probably a time when younger, less mature writing me probably did a little bit more of that. But I think as my writing has matured, probably in the last 10 to 15 years, I just don't find myself, I find myself drawing realistic characters and not being just like goofy and weird.
Right.
And
as you get older, it becomes more interesting to be realistic instead of writing like the idealized social composite that you're fed when you're younger. You're getting into like what you've seen of life and what you've experienced and how people's oddities make them more interesting, and so that makes you draw more interesting characters.
I think it does. I think I think you're right. I think the perspectives that you gain getting older, it helps you to put everything in a little bit more in its proper place. Where when you're a younger, this may or may not be true for women, but when you're younger, their hormones are really firing pretty aggressively, and so that can come out in sometimes strange ways in your writing, and I think sometimes people graduate from that phase, but sometimes people don't. And some of the examples that I saw from some of the websites, some of which were hilarious. I mean, like cringe.
So bad they're good. So bad they're good, right?
Yeah. Like it was like so cringeworthy. It's like hilarious. Like it's like a guy you watch a video on social media of a guy trying to tight walk a fence and then he falls in a bad way, and you're like, oh, so it's like it's just crazy. But yeah, and one of the things that for me it came down to is to do research, and I know you understand research and the importance of research. In terms of drawing realistic, believable characters, because you draw an unrealistic character, and I mean you could lose your reader just right off the bat, like, oh, here, this is ridiculous. So I definitely recommend research to know what you're talking about, and just be realistic. There are ways to be crazy and unrealistic, and it can work. And then there are ways that you're unrealistic and people are rolling their eyes and putting your book down. So
there's a funny example of this in my in the second book in my series, The Grasping Root. There's a character named Neil, and if any of you know Jeremy Fee, who is a newly embarked author, but a star of BookTube, he really liked the journey that I explored with Neil in the book 2. And then in book 3, Neil changes. He's not the point of view character, and he's experienced something terrible. And so our view of him shifts because we're in a different person's point of view. And he was like, I don't like this. But it was funny because it's not like it was unrealistic, but letting go of like being in that person's skin, I can see how it could be painful for people, but I just sort of like needed to guide them through the next generation, like the next point of view character to move the story along. So, but yeah, I thought that was funny when Jeremy's like, "What happened to Neil?"
that is, yeah. There is something to be said about how characters change, and when I think about that, I always think of the Stephen King story Misery, and how the author. You've never seen Misery?
No.
Oh.
Have I seen a Stephen King movie? Yet.
Oh, you should see Misery. Even if you're not feeling Stephen King, you should. Misery is like one that you could. Do you not like horror? Are you not a horror fan?
No, I'm not. I think it's going to give me nightmares, especially as a writer.
It more so gives. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, that's true. But it's a good. It is a good movie though. But you're right. As an author, it is creepy. It does take on an extra creepy factor. If you're a male author, the creepy factor just literally goes to space faster than Jeff Bezos. I mean,
really?
yeah. It's out there. But anyway, the point is that he changes the character and it upsets the woman that's holding him captive. So so a reminder: be careful, authors, changing your characters. So
Right.
I'm not saying that to spook Margaret, but you know how that is. All right. So let's go ahead and I think we can get in at least one more 20-minute sprint. So we'll go ahead and throw 20 minutes back up on the clock here. Let me get that thing off the screen here. Yeah, let me get that on off the screen. We're going to go productivity sprint number dos. All right, so 20 minutes. So those of you out there who are writing, get to your keyboards right now. If you are reading, if you're cleaning, if you're doing arts and crafts, if you are doing whatever you're doing, hopefully something appropriate, you got 20 minutes to do it. So, all right, so here we go. 20 minutes, and we will see you back here at about 8:22 Eastern. And whatever 20 minutes is out in Margaret's time zone. All right. All right, here we go. 20 minutes. Okay.
Did you? You had me muted.
What? Wait. What did you say?
You had me muted. Was I too noisy of a typer?
Oh, I don't know. I probably I don't know. I don't know what you were doing, but I must have hit it. No, you were not too noisy.
Far away. I would have muted, but it's too far away. So
It's super. Yeah. See, I was saving you because you were so relaxed. I didn't want to take you away from that.
Yeah, I'm not that relaxed. I'm concentrating fiercely. Can't you see it, Sandy?
Your focus is sky high right now, so I can definitely appreciate that. So let me see. I mean, we did a lot of talking, so it probably cost us the third sprint here. I don't want to keep everybody too long, but I did end up with 264 words. So not up to my usual 500 word goals, but again, had to do some research, a couple of pieces of research that I had to do to try to keep myself on track. So that was how that went. So how about you, Margaret? How did it go?
I got through about 1,200 words and changed, and I'm on to the next chapter. So I was on a long one, but now I'm on the next chapter.
All right. So you probably made a lot more notes that you're going to have to go back and adjust some things.
Well, I do have one big thing highlighted that I don't know if I want to change, and I don't want to take it out because I don't want to have to put it back in. So
oh, the decisions we make as authors.
I know. Do I make people angry at people before the terrible thing happens, or wait until after and then have the feeling of abandonment, like clean everything up for me? Like, I'm so terrible to my characters.
See, some people have a hard time with that being terrible to their characters. Like some authors, that's like a whole another video or story right there of authors who fall in love with their characters and they can't have anything bad happen to their characters. So let's see. Let's see what we got here. Claude jumped in here. Hello, Claude. Claude's been a regular of late, so great to see Claude back in here. Shouted him out a little bit, so thanks for Claude. Shay says, I don't mind people writing opposite genders as long as they're respectful in their representations. So, yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think a lot of that is, what is your agenda going into it, if you got some kind of bizarre agenda. Let's see. Nazy says, I ended up with a clean kitchen. I don't know what your secret is, but my kitchen is, I can hear a cry for help coming from my kitchen right now. So, yeah. I heard you, kitchen. Okay. We'll get, I promise. Okay. The kitchen is right in front of me for those of you who did not pick up on that. So let's see. Shay says, I feel like my characters want bad things to happen to them, and so I have to oblige. So see, Shay is like, hey, Shay with the hobbies, but Shay is also with the bad things happening too, if bad things need to happen. So you know what? It's been a long time since I wrote a story with a character that I fell in love with that I could not let something bad happen to. I pretty much abandoned that probably 4 or 5 years ago. Like, no, that just doesn't happen anymore. If a character's got to go, he or she's got to go.
Oh, wiping them out completely. I'm not killing my characters. I'm just like putting them through the ringer.
That's nothing. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Oh, that's nothing. I thought you were talking about killing your character off. Okay. No.
But I will say this month I did finally read Devil in the White City, and there's lots of death and destruction going on in that.
Okay. I've heard about that book. I may need to check that one out. But I think putting your characters through trials and tribulations, putting them through adversity, and then having them come out hopefully stronger at the end. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Yeah, no, that's that's perfectly cool. I think any main character should definitely go through some trials to get to the end. So
the question at this point is whether I make a misunderstanding, split these two people, and one of them is thinking it's their fault, and one of them's thinking it's their fault, and so they can't get back together because something else happens and they don't get the time, or whether I wait until after and the big event that happens prevents them from ever getting together again, so it's a missed opportunity. So which is worse, or which works better for the story? These are the kind of plotting things that don't come intuitively, so I end up just having to like rewrite it and see and feel, and then rewrite it again.
I've had times where I've written it both ways. And then
Ooh.
you see how one goes, and then you can plug the other one in if it doesn't work for you.
Ooh, we got some ARCs and some AuthorTube love going on here. Awesome, cool.
Well, let me see. Whoops, I skipped over one. Mike Bates came in late, first time here. Welcome, Mike Bates. I hope it's not your last time. Check out Margaret's channel. She's right over here. Check her channel out if you can. And there you go. But yeah, check out Margaret's channel if you want to. Again, she does a lot with historical fiction and great AuthorTube content, great reading content as well. So definitely check out Margaret. But welcome again, Mike Bates. Appreciate having you in here. Claude says, yesterday I received J.C. Carpenter's debut novel, The Diary, Succession of Lies. She's an AuthorTuber, has many videos, and I'm excited to read it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So that is very, it is really cool though to see, because there are more of them out there than you would think. AuthorTubers who, are AuthorTubers not just because they're writing, but they actually are authors in terms of publishing. So it's great when you can see AuthorTubers really do some cool things with their writing, and you can support them. So that is definitely a welcome.
Agreed.
Welcome post there. Shay with the hobbies. I'm reading Kalila Harry's novel, Souls, that comes out next week. She's also an AuthorTuber. Another good one. Yes. Yes, I like that. Keep them coming if you guys have got them.
That's awesome.
And then Claude says, yes, Shay, it's on pre-order list. Hyped to read. Oh, I like the group we got in here, man. They are definitely supporting some AuthorTubers and BookTubers. And so that is definitely great to see. So shout out to the audience here for showing their great support, and definitely got some ones. I may have to lift the book buying moratoriums in support of, I don't know. Should I? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take notes, but I got to get some books. I got to get some books read over here. I got stacks of books over here too that need to be read too. So bear with me.
September.
I'm going to get these.
Yeah, do it for September.
Yeah, so I'm going to definitely work on that. I definitely got some books here. I actually, speaking of AuthorTubers, Alexa Dunn, I've got her book over here too that I need to get to. So, The Ivies, which is right up my alley. Boarding school, prep school, craziness. So, Margaret and Steff have heard a lot about that over the years. So they know what time it is with that.
You should call it your back to school hall and go over all the AuthorTubers books that are set at a school. That'd be good.
Ooh, that might be an escape clause for the book ban. Buying more.
Nice.
Yeah, I might have to consider that. So, that is definitely. I thank you for helping me on my path to financial ruin here pretty soon with all these books that I got. So
I don't want to be left out of the club. So I have an indie author's book, Yasilia Israel. So she's someone whose book I bought last month, and I pronounced her name wrong, and she told me, so now I know how to say it. So I got this from her website direct, and it's one of 3. So I'm excited to read this one. But
there's a great point in there too, that if you have an opportunity to buy directly from an author's website, that's really a cool thing to do. To make sure that those profits get to the author typically, and so that's definitely a recommendation. And again, check those authors' websites.
Yeah, someone needs to put a shopping cart on her website.
Somebody.
I know.
It depends on who. So, all right. So, final thoughts for the evening before we wrap it up here, as we are just at 91 minutes here and counting. Let me. Oh, wait a minute. A couple more people jumping in here, trying to. Let's see. Claude, the cover for the Ivies actually is a really great cover. You know, the cool thing about it here, let me grab it here real quick. The cool thing about it is that it's got these fingerprints on it, so it looks like you touched it and you left like a bloody fingerprint. So it looks kind of weird for those of you who are into that kind of stuff. But it is a very, very cool book, and what's done is a very high-level author tuber for sure. So let's see. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do for this book. Plus she's autographing it. Cool. Yeah, definitely. If you can support, especially indie authors, because it's a jungle out there for authors. Period. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Even after the dream comes true of being published, that's kind of where the work. Really, I don't want to say begins, because there's a lot of work that happens before that, but it definitely does not let up. So, final thoughts, Margaret. What do you got? Final thoughts.
Speaking of a lot of work, the last time I visited Kahila's channel, she was talking about going through one by one, like several hundred flags that she put. So basically, like the comments I have on Scrivener. I don't remember if she was using Scrivener, but she was like, I have 787 left or whatever. And it was like, she's counted them all. I mean, I'm sure the software does it, but I was just in awe. She's just like being very systematic about it, which is often beyond my disciplinary approach. So I was mad respect. I'm glad that the book's out. That's very exciting.
I forgot you do use Scrivener, don't you? I forgot about that. Yeah, I've got Scrivener. I need to use. You have it for a Mac though. I've heard Mac version is better than the PC version. So I don't know.
They're on like the 3rd edition though, so I think they probably brought it closer. I don't know.
Okay, well maybe they've worked out some bugs. Maybe I'll see if I can get the newest edition. I think I have a very early edition of it. So, and it was a little rough. And I always heard that the Mac version was better. So, so for me it's cool. I am at about 81,000 words in the book, and it's going to take me probably. I'll split the difference. It'll take me about 87,000 words to finish it, maybe a little bit less. And so I'm really excited to get this first book. I entered the year with the goal of having the first 2 books in the 5 books of the series written by the end of the year. So, what's that?
Did you see that?
What'd I do? Oh my gosh! Here you go.
I'm bringing it back, old school.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were too young for that. My goodness.
Oh, I am. I got it after the fact. I just thought it was funny to plug it in.
Oh gosh. Here you go. I thought I was the only one with the years to remember that one. So, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, NaNoWriMo, I'm going to write the second book during NaNoWriMo. So those of you who are participating in NaNoWriMo this year in November, get to work on it in, I don't know, what's Preptober, I think they call October before NaNoWriMo. So get your work, your pregame work done in September and October, so you're ready to go for NaNoWriMo. I got my book ready, and Margaret's got her thought ready.
Yeah, my thought was that I wanted to tell people a victory story from today.
Uh-oh.
So you guys are ever feeling as authors like you're trying to build community, or you're trying to do a thing and make something great, and like people just aren't there for you? You can adapt and turn around and make it happen, which is what happened to me today. So I have a Patreon book club, and I have 3 people in it, and 1 is nearby and 2 are far away. And we were all set to discuss the book today. And yesterday someone messaged me saying, oh, I didn't even try. I have too much going on. And then today someone messaged me saying they're moving and their timeline got moved around, so they couldn't come either. And so I had 1 person left, and I was like, sad face emoji. But then I thought, okay, well, this is the nearby person. and she liked the book, and so we'll have a lot to discuss. And it's nice out, so let's turn this into a freaking picnic. So we went up to the park, which is really great because the book is called Greenwood, and it's about this futuristic wooded island that's been turned into a park because there are no trees anywhere else anymore because we're killing the earth. And so it was a perfect place to go. We were in Cathedral Park, which is full of big trees, and invited another friend along for a picnic and like caught up on each other's lives and just fostered a different community because that's what we were offered, and that's the chance that we took today. So I came away from that feeling better and not as younger Margaret would have felt, like rejected and abandoned. So there's your happy ending story for today. And I hope you guys have a picnic in your future while the weather is nice. Maybe before the fall happens or the hurricanes leave or something. So that is what I wish for you.
That is an awesome story, and one of the lessons in that is that sometimes we get so caught up in numbers that when we don't, meet our number goal or our number dream, we become discouraged, and sometimes you lose sight of the great relationships that sometimes you can develop through books, through writing, through other things. And so focus on that good, because the good is there. And Margaret, what a great example of the good. So again, if you guys could, on the way out, hit the like button. Also, take a look at Margaret's channel. Got it in the chat there, so you can go and definitely check her out as well. And hopefully we will regroup and we'll get Steff, who is just so busy that she couldn't quite tear away. And so we missed her, and we look forward to having her back on the next one next month. Date and time to be announced. Date, time, and host to be announced too. We got to figure out who the next host is as well. So with that, is it you?
Is it me? Am I the villain? Am I the villain? I don't think I'm the villain.
I'm trying to think, who is it? I can't remember.
I think it is me. I was just being funny.
I think it is you. I think you should wear that. Definitely wear that hairstyle again. I think that is really cool. That's cool. Yeah. I think you should wear that again. So you got that good hair. So I don't have that good hair. I just got to go clean. So all right. Well, thanks to everybody in the chat. Great to have everybody. And with that, I will bid everybody a good night and be safe out there. Keep your thoughts with the people in the Gulf Coast area, New Orleans and beyond. They're definitely going through some stuff. So keep your thoughts with them. So with that, everybody, have a good night. Peace.